Shoie DeathsStalker here. So did you ever wonder why it costs so much to get things serviced at your local motorcycle shop? Well, let me give you a little background into business. We're going to just do something simple like an oil change, because that's something that pretty well anyone can do by themselves if they have the proper tools and equipment. Now when you look at the dealer, and I'd say they're going to charge you somewhere between $60 and $80 for an oil change. Now if you were to go buy that material to do the oil change, so you buy an oil filter, you know, we're talking $7 to $10, you know, $15 for an expensive one. And the oil, depending on the grade of oil you're going to put in your motorcycle, you're talking probably say $40 for the you know, a reasonably good quality oil. You know, more expensive oil is going to raise the price. So you do the math, and it's like, well, that's $50, and they're charging me $80 or $60, and it's like, well, that's not fair. Well, they have tons of costs, and a lot of the costs they have are things that, you know, you don't even think about offhand. And the first cost, of course, is pretty obvious. The mechanic, they have to pay for him. And the parts guy, because that's the guy who orders the parts the mechanic's going to put on the motorcycle. And then, of course, you have the other people that work at the shop as well. Like there's a little bit of percentage of it all, like the service manager, the accountant who actually does the books for the dealership. You know, in some cases it's a relative of the owner, but sometimes it's actually a paid position where you have someone who's doing the paperwork, and that person will be doing the books, the payroll, all that sort of stuff. You know, and that's the personnel. So that's technically becomes all your labor costs when you look at it. And then of course you've got the things that you don't think about, but businesses have them as well, which is your electricity, your heat, your water bill. If you're on a city service, you have your sewer bill. If not, you're going to have a bill for cleaning out your septic system ever so often. So they have to put money away for that sort of stuff. And then you have your taxes. Now taxes are kind of funky, okay? There's property taxes if you own the property. There's business taxes to run if you're running a business, and every municipality has different taxes. Like a lot of times when you see a company pack up and move to another city or state, the taxes actually is a big reason for that, because like I know for a fact where I live, the business taxes, you know, were anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a year just to have your business in this particular town. And that doesn't sound too bad, but if you're a small business like a variety store, that's a lot of pack of gum you got to sell to make that money. You know, and then you have your payroll taxes. You know, there'll be workman's comp. There's and workman compensation is for paying your injured workers, and that is sort of prorated, because if you're in an industry where there's a lot of injuries, you actually pay a higher rate, because basically your workers can get injured, where if you're a law office, you know, not so much, paper cut, you know, stubbing your toe sort of thing. You also have you know, the other payroll taxes. Like, just take out your pay stub, and you'll probably see them on your pay stub. Like when they deduct taxes from your pay, you have to remember is that the business is also paying part of those taxes as well. A lot of the payroll taxes, it could be a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, like between you and the employer. So like say you're paying $200 a week in various payroll taxes, they could be paying $400 or $600 for you as part of that deal. Again, every municipality, every country is a little bit different how they do that. Now you also have other costs that they have to carry, which is part of the business, which is like you know, the carrying costs for all those bikes you see in the showroom. Depending on how the manufacturers work, the dealers don't necessarily have to pay for them up front, but in some cases they do. And if that's the case, they actually have to sometimes borrow money to you know, to buy these motorcycles from the factories or the distributors or whatever, and then they have to pay that loan back to whoever they borrowed it from until they sell that motorcycle. Now they're hoping that a lot of these bikes they sell fast, which generally they do. But you know, when you look at some of those motorcycles, sometimes you go to the dealership and he's got like a 2 or 3 year old motorcycle on the floor, and sometimes it has really good deals because they're trying to get rid of it because they don't want to pay anymore to keep it sitting there. And it's also the same thing if there's a mortgage on the building. So you can see that there's tons of little costs back there. Now the dealership does get some advantages. The oil filters they pay wholesale for them. So you know, let's say that oil filter costs $10, they might pay anywhere from $3 to $7 for that oil filter. But when they actually charge you for it, they're going to charge you the retail price for it on your bill. Again, it's just a way of you know, covering the costs. Same thing with the oil. The oil they might pay. Every oil manufacturer is different, so I'm not going to try to figure out what the discount and whatnot is. But some of them it could be half. You know, so you know, that $40 oil change, it might be half. So it's, you know, $20. But again, you know, they can't really pass that reduction on to you because they have to pay for that mechanic, that service tech, all year round. So the summertime, when the bike shops are doing really well and you know, they're really busy, try going in November or in January or February when no one's really riding, or you know, things are really slow, and a lot of times there's not a lot of work going on. In fact, some of the dealerships actually might lay these guys off for a couple months. You know, they'll have a couple mechanics on full time, but you know, if you have a bike that has, say, 7 or 8 mechanics during the summer, and you go there in the winters like 2 or 3, and that's simply because they haven't got enough work to keep these guys on. So when they price things, it's sort of a pay to afford these people for the whole year, or at least as much as possible. So I don't begrudge the bike shops for charging that. And again, if a particular bike shop was say gouging the oil changes, they wouldn't be in business long, because what would happen is if you go to all the bike shops in your area, say within about 5-6 miles of that particular shop, you're going to find within a couple bucks they're all charging the same rate. And it's not price fixing, at least it better not be, because that's actually against the law. But generally it's like what the price the market will bear. So if everyone will handle a $100 oil change, they'd be charging $100. But they know they can't, so the charge is, you know, $40, $60, $80 for these oil changes, because that's what the market will bear. You know, if you make the oil change too expensive, you end up with more people doing the oil changes themselves. If you make it, you know, too cheap, you can't actually make money at it. And you know, we've actually had places where, you know, the prices were so low that they eventually weren't able to keep the business afloat, because they were doing really well during the busy times, but when it got to the slow times, they couldn't bring in, that was loud, they couldn't bring in enough cash to keep themselves afloat. And I've actually seen that in my area. We used to have about, I'm gonna say somewhere around 10 motorcycle shops, and I think now we're down to about 4, and none of them are near each other anymore. Now the downside, of course, is that you have less options for buying, and the competition for cheaper pricing is less, but at least you have bike shops you know that are going to be around in 10 years. So anyways, hope you found that interesting. You know, again, like, they have to stay in business, but you know, it is a free country. If you don't like their prices, there's nothing stopping you from going elsewhere. There was more than one bike shop that I bought the bike from one shop and took another shop for service because their mechanics may have been better, or their prices were far more reasonable. And surprisingly, the bike shops where I ended up moving to service are some of the ones that are still around. Anyways, hope that gives you a little more information there. DeathsStalker, signing off.